Hello there. My name is Mike Ryder. I am a solutions architect here at N2WS. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to automate adding and removing resources using tags. So that's both custom tags and a default tag that we can also use. I'll show you how to do that as well. So first thing we want to do is create a policy. So we're going to come to policies. I've already started creating one. It's my tags tutorial. And then we're going to go to backup targets. So we're not going to select backup targets from here. So this is kind of the whole point of this feature. So instead of having to go in and manually select your instances, you're going to come here to more options. And you're going to scroll down and then you'll see a custom tags. So I already have one integrated here. So it's just an environment, production or prod. But there's nothing added yet, right? So there's two things that need to happen first. One is you need to go to your accounts and make sure that any of those resources that you want to get add with those tags have this scan resources feature enabled. So not only that, which region or regions you want to scan and what resource types. So any resource that's going to have that tag, any type, you're going to make sure that's going to be selected. So I have instances and volumes selected here because that's all I need. But you could have an RDS out there or DynamoDB, EFS, whatever the case might be. Just make sure that's all selected. So I have that selected, and now I'm going to save this. All right, so that's done. So now we need to go and actually tell N2WS to use this feature. So we're going to go up to the general settings right here, this little gear icon. And then we're going to come up here to tag scan. Okay. And we're going to select periodically scan resource tags. So the default's every 6 hours, which means every 6 hours it'll run out and it'll run a tag scan. And if it finds any new resources with our specific tags, it will automatically add it to whichever policy you have configured. And you also have the option to enable, to exclude certain volumes as well. But we're going to save this to make sure that it's enabled. So now I have an instance here. So it's my Linux web server, and I have my environment prod tag available. So now what I want to do is actually I can run a scan. You can put it on a schedule, or it'll still run out, and then same thing, just leave it on and let it do its thing every so many hours. But we're going to run a scan now. So just to verify, I'm going to go back to the policy. Let it load. Okay, so nothing listed here under backup targets, right? So we're going to come up here, and I'm going to select tag scan, and I'm going to click scan now because I want to run a scan. I want to add some resources. So the tag scan has started. So now you can refresh this and you can actually see what time that ran, and you can actually show a log. Said, okay, we scanned these regions, we found a tagged instance, we added it, good to go. So now we go back to the policy. Okay. So now we see two instances added, right? So first was our Linux web server, which is this one, right? So that had this specific tag. And now we have this one added as well. So this kind of segues into our hard code tagging, essentially, that's what you want to call it. All right, so we can come back here. I'm going to go to instances. And I want to open that Ubuntu instance that we see here. And I'm going to go to this tags tab. Now, if we look at these tags, we will have one here configured for this instance. So this is called a CPM underscore backup, or it could be a CPM space backup. But CPM backup, and then the value is the name of the tutorial. So this is the other way of tagging. So, it's possible to maybe run a script that tags any specific resource or in any environment to automatically run a tag. And you can list multiple policies here. So with just a space and then the next policy, and it could be 3, 4, it doesn't matter. Just a space, the next policy name, and so on. Now make sure and do note that this is extremely case sensitive. So you need to make sure if you're going to use this tag that you want to make sure it is exactly what you show here, or else it will not work. So that is the other way of tagging, and that's the original way that we used to have. But this custom tagging with the Linux web server, like I showed you in the policy, under more options here, that's our newest way. So, and then same thing, if the resource, if an instance gets terminated, if it doesn't find it anymore, it'll actually remove it from the policy for you as well. So now one other tag that we use, especially when it comes to this one, is our no backup, right? So if you integrate this tag, or even, this tag, that's if it's automated, it doesn't matter. So, but let's say, for instance, we're going to use this one, right? Because we have this one tag. So every single resource that's going to have, get created with this tag is going to get added, automatically added to the policy. Maybe there's, a specific instance or a giant database or something that maybe we don't want to add to this particular policy, or get backed up at all. So instead of having this happen all the time, you'll come over, and so we'll say, go back to this instance. To my web server. We'll jump back over here to tags. Okay, so now for example, I don't want this particular instance to get added to any policy. So what you want to do, but I also don't want to get rid of this tag, right? I need my tags. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and manage tags. I'm going to add a new tag, and I'm going to do CPM backup, no backup, and save. So that will have the tag scan skip that resource and not add it to the policy, right? So that's it. So that is how you integrate custom tags and our standard tags and automate adding and removing resources from your policies. I hope this was helpful. And as always, thank you for using N2WS.